So remember, we have no idea what's going to be said here. So
My, my name is Dave Ganci. It's spelled Ganci. And to some of you, that might sound Italian. And I have been asked if that's an Italian name. And my answer was, no, it's Sicilian. And this is true. And my grandfather, my father's father, was from Sicily. And that's why I use my hands, and I don't like a microphone. I inherited some of that. But my father's father died before he was born, so he never got the language, which I didn't either. And was born back east. When I started growing up, I wanted to find out a little bit of my heritage, and I looked in phone books for my name, Ganci. I couldn't find it. It wasn't until actually I came out west and got on the internet, and I found a bunch of them. I haven't contacted any of them yet, but when I say my name and I'm Sicilian, the person says, well, you don't look Sicilian. You don't look like Robert De Niro, which I did, but blonde hair, blue eyes, and, who was your father's mother? Where did she come from? Ireland. So you can use your imagination with Irish and Italian at the supper table, how that family must have gone. Anyway. Well, there's stereotypes. Typical Sicilian is probably Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Marlon Brando in disguise. But Sicilians consider themselves basically a different breed of, I don't know what, Italian, I suppose you could say it that way. But if you want to know or get a feel for what Sicilian family is like, all you have to do is watch Goodfellas movie and see the dinner table discussion, which starts off like a discussion, but ends up in a shouting match, which is what us Sicilians like to do. And some people look at that and think that it's an angry thing. People are shouting at each other and they're mad. And it's not so. It's just a characteristic, like I'm doing like this. It's in your blood that you shout. Hey, Louis, shut up, Jim. You don't know what you're talking about, you know? And you see it in movies, and it's not an angry thing. It's just kind of whatever you want to call it. It's in, I think, Sicilian or maybe Italian blood and other, Latin bloods too. And one time I went to a Sicilian dinner. This was when I was a kid. And I remember the first one I went to where they kept bringing out food. And I was a young kid, and I had a pretty good appetite, but they kept bringing out one thing after another. And I would eat till I couldn't eat it anymore, and the dinner lasted a couple hours, There's lots of wine bottles to empty, this kind of thing. So I had to go and lay down a couple times, but I wanted to be still part of the crowd. And they'd come around and, Dave, get up. Come on, you got some more to eat, like Sicilians will do. But I had to keep eating, and I actually got sick doing this, but I realized they do this like for every dinner. Dinner and eating became a celebration, not just hurry up, no such thing as fast food. And that was part of their whole celebration of family and life was around food. You know? And I look at that today and say, where is that today, unless you go to dinner at a restaurant? Where is that? Did it become something more than just eating to live? It's a whole social family thing where, and it gets into shouting matches, you know. And I would listen to these and I'd start laughing, you know. So I guess if there's a moral to this short story, it's how is it possible to make that happen again? Make the family get together over food, an event, rather than something to survive. You know, and now you say, well, we might all be obese if that happened. But I never saw really obese Sicilians. Perhaps because they were running from the police. I don't know. You know. She's kidding. But that's funny because of the stigma. I don't want to say stigma, but the idea that Sicilians. Sicilians and the mafia, you know, are brothers. There's a story in that I don't have time to tell you, but thank you for the invitation.